Howdy y'all, and welcome to Craters Gaming. Today we're going to be making a little cage for some of our characters using items that we bought from the Dollar Tree. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. To start off with, we're going to take the fuzzy peak thing off of the rollers that I bought from Dollar Tree. They came in a package of 4. Now we're taking the outside off because we want the plastic skeleton on the inside. We don't want that fuzzy piece, although we may need it for later. I haven't decided yet. Into the scrap bin with you, my friend. Next step, we're going to go ahead and glue together a couple pieces from my Jenga set. I can't beat cheap. So we're going to go ahead and put a daub of glue on there, make sure it's on there real good. And later, although it doesn't show on this video, I did double it up, which makes it go crossways, just to get a little bit more stability. And this piece of paper is just a scrap piece that I had laying around. I thought that it would make a pretty good looking base. Hold the pole for our little cage. I'm using a wooden spool that I believe that I bought from Walmart. It's either Walmart or Michael's, I don't remember. This step, I'm just going to go ahead and glue 2 popsicle sticks together. These popsicle sticks I bought in bulk from Walmart. You can get them very cheap. And then I'm just going to cut it to size. That way it's not too big and it's more to scale. Once I'm finished with that, I'm going to go ahead and set it to the side and go ahead and get my dowel rod set to where I want it. We're just doing a light scoring on either side of it. That way it's easy to break off and to use how we want. And I'm going to put the broken side down. That way it looks a little bit more uniform. Oh, blam. I'm also going to clip and glue on 2 more pieces of popsicle because I want it to be flush and to really hold it up there. Making sure to score it where I want to cut it later. See? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And remember, it doesn't have to be exact. It's alright if it's a little off. Don't be perfectionist, just have some fun. It's what we're here for. And after we're done making our non-edible sandwich, we're going to go ahead and hot glue it onto the pole as well. Now we're going to go ahead and clip our cross members to help support the weight of our cage so it doesn't flop over. Here I'm just trying to figure out the best positioning where I want them. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just, like I've said in many videos, whatever tickles my fancy is what we're going with. And then we're going to get to the hot gluing. It's a little dabble do. You don't need to go too crazy on this. Plus you don't want a whole lot of stringers, which is fine if you have those. It's much better than waiting on tacky glue. I'm going to attempt to glue it so that it matches the other side. Although if it doesn't match up perfectly, that's alright too. We're going to go ahead and pause the video right here to remind you that you can become a Patreon or buy us a coffee. All proceeds go towards furthering the channel and buying supplies. If you help out, you do get a shout out. For our next step, we're going to go ahead and put a top and a bottom on our cage. And to do that, we're going to be using, you guessed it, trash. Waste not, want not. And it has the added bonus of not adding extra cost to our project, which we are totally here for. Should not have to spend a fortune just to have some fun. Now I'm going to do this for both sides, and I'm going to rough up the shiny side where the paint will stick to it better. To do that, I'm just using a wire brush, although if you have some sandpaper, you could do that too. Just what you got. Also going to, not shown here, put some glue on the shiny side to kind of give it some texture as well. Here I went back and forth a couple times on how I was going to make the door frame. I decided to use yet more of the same trash that I used earlier, but I'm going to use that to kind of frame it up a little bit. Remember, it does not have to be perfect because we can cover it up with glue later. I do realize that these cages are a bit overkill for our characters, but you know what? That's perfectly fine. It's just the idea and the concept that matters. Add a little bit more detail, I am taking some skewers or dowel rods or really whatever I have at hand, and I'm going to glue that on each corner to make it look like it's been riveted in. Once I have that complete, I am going to take some twine that I also bought from the Dollar Tree. Big spender, let me tell you. I'm going to go ahead and put a dab of glue on there, and then I'm going to wind it around the top. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to affix it to the top of this cage. Now, not seen here, I did glue a tiny little piece of wood on there before I black bombed it. DM Scotty reference right there for y'all. And that will hold that to the cage where it doesn't just flop around. It's a bit more sturdy. That done, I realized that it is top heavy, which will not do. So that's about the step where I decided to go ahead and glue 3 more pieces of Jenga together and then attach it to the base. And that fixed the problem. I had spray painted it black with some Rust-Oleum because it adheres to the plastic very well and we don't have to worry about it chipping or flaking off later. For our first round of dry brushing, we're using Territorial Beige, which is a matte color. It's also acrylic, like I say on all my videos. It goes on awfully bright, but it does get darker, so don't freak out. I'm going to go ahead and slather on some Elephant Gray, which is also another cheap acrylic. This is going to be my base before I put the silver on later. That way I don't have to waste a lot of the expensive paint because I have my base coat underneath. Once that's complete, I'm going to go ahead and dry brush the rest of the contraption. That way it has more of a weathered look to it. To do that, I'm going to be using kind of an off-white or an eggshell white. I do not have an exact name for this one because this one was in my husband's bucket. Some of them are quite old and they did not have names on them. Just making sure to give it an all-over coverage. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's okay. And if you do go overboard, you can dull it down with the wash. This one I do have a name for. It is Khaki, and I'm going to go over the rope with this to kind of bring out some detail. And I'm also going to hit those corners, that way it brings them out as well. Along with yet more dry brushing because I just can't help myself. Didn't want it to look too bland, so I'm going over it in some Dwarven Gold around the cage, and then even more towards the base of the contraption itself. I'm just going to hit the top and bottom of the spool to kind of bring out that detail. Page itself, I'm going to hit with what's called Deadly Iron. This is by Army Painter. Although if you did not want to use Army Painter and wanted to use a cheaper one, you can do that as well. As a matter of fact, you could probably get away with using a silver Sharpie. The mere fact that this was within inches of me is the reason why I'm using this today. And there you have it to complete any dungeon. I really like how this turned out. Have any suggestions for future videos, please post them below. Well, there you have it. Super easy, super cheap, which we like. If you liked the video, please hit the like, subscribe, share the video. It helps out a whole lot, and I hope to see y'all again next Friday. Bye!